Hi everyone, and happy Sunday. And for everyone who lives everywhere but Arizona, happy daylight savings time. Yeah, because we all love losing an hour of sleep. I'd rather gain an hour of sleep. I like falling back, don't get me wrong. Falling back's great. I get more sleep then. I get an extra hour of it. Going forward, I don't like. I really, I really don't. But anyways, it being Sunday and all, normally you only see me with Heathen Haven, but today I am doing a video for a dear friend, little Cece, because she asked me to do another lesson on a Nordic word or Nordic meaning. Uh, and I'm actually going to attempt to play it through Google Translate. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it or not. The first one's Icelandic. Rökkatru. And even in Norwegian, it's still pronounced Rökkatru. And I've noticed that is actually through all languages, it's still pronounced the same. Rökkatru. It's a word, it's a meaning, it's what some people live by. And you're probably wondering, what the hell does that mean? Well, it's a Norse word. What is it? And I'm reading this off of the northernpaganism.org, and I will actually leave a link to this website as well. What is Rökkuðr? So I'm going to read the entirety of it. I apologize for me butchering or having issues. I don't read out loud very well. But first, this is what it first starts out as. First, there were the Aesers, the Authors, which means technically true to the Aesir, or Nordic slash Germanian gods of the sky and war and culture. This included Odin, Frigg, Frigga, Hannibal, Balder, Idil, Began, and many other gods, including Thor and them. Eventually, they who regarded peace and content were on the Valar, the second most ancient pantheons of the gods, included Frey, Norgid, and Nephia, deciding that they would be called Valsen. Sometime after that, Abby Helsnadottir of New Zealand coined the term Rökkatru. Yeah, I can't pronounce the word still. For those who primarily focused on the third pantheon of the underworld gods, which includes Helena, Loki, Abigail, Saiyan, Fenris, Yojamada, or the big ass snake to help people at Neva and Vasa, Sut, Mongis, and Gassis, amongst others. Mongols, Mondrak, and Mongols. I really hate some of these names. I suck at saying them. Obviously, I can't say words or English. Well, I can't Nordic either, so. The complete of the world tree is not limited to the northern Europeans. Most cultures around the world have world trees, and it is usually their jobs of the shamans or spirit workers in that culture to travel from world to world. There are also at least 3 levels: heaven, earth, and the underworld. Each of these visual equality, and they have their own blessings and damages. Well, blessings and dangers. Sorry. They are always spirits in the sky, spirits of the earth, spirits below, and the spirits' beloved ancestors, and those who guard them. Nordic accommodation grew from the country culture that follows this path and follows the same ideals. The three different pantheons also vary in all necessaries of the fortunes of Yangamal, which is the tree of life. So, the actual meaning of the word, and that was just the backstory behind it. The actual meaning of this word. Those who identify as rökkatru do not see darkness or dark as bad, nor the underworld gods as evil. We feel that this is a Christian concept that has infected so many modern inspirations of not only the Nordic cosmos, first through the Christianity's writing down everything and traits, and only sources that we have of these myths are, and second through the Christians' upbringings of many of the converted to the northern religions. Other non-pagan sets have already been down the road and come out on the other side. This has led to the underworld gods are always horned and reserved for many things. Sorry, if you were on this side that you weren't going with good or evil, you would see that the other world gods, have other side. I lost my place. You learn that the otherworld gods are to be honored and revered for many things. Death is not evil; it is part of life. So is rot and decay, and loss, and the passing of all things. So is chaos. So is randomness. So is the dividing paths of so is the divining path of nature that we humans first intervene with. All these things are scary, and so are they. So they are the rökkatru. Just as they are those. Just as that, these are also other ones that are put under the label as evil or bad just because they're underworld gods, such as Hetek or Ki or Hades, Elistoran, or even Coyote. So are these who are also descendants to Loki, Helena, and the others. Basically, what it's saying is that this word it pretty much means that you don't see anything that is quote unquote dark or mysterious as bad. You don't see death as a bad thing. You don't see chaos as a bad thing. You see it as a natural path of life. That you don't see the underworld gods as villains or evil. Hades isn't evil. Neither is Loki or Helena, and neither is any of the other. Neither is Hecate. Neither is Anubis or any of those that are considered underworld gods that control the underworld, control death. Now, Morgan isn't evil. She just scares the hell out of me. There's a difference. Because in Klein, we are all scared of death. And that's why we mark it as death is bad, death is evil, and it's just a transition or part of life. It's like saying Coyote is evil for being a trickster. And most Native American lore, yes, Coyote is a very big trickster, just like Loki. But there's also a second version of Coyote, which isn't as bad. It's a bit more trusting. But they're not evil. Evil is a concept pushed into religions and beliefs by the Christians who wrote it down. By the fact that Christianity flooded everywhere, took over, and changed a lot of things. I don't see Loki as evil. I see him as misunderstood, trickster, and a little bit of a deviant, which deviant can be considered bad. It's like saying, take this gummy bear. It's white, so it has to be good. This gummy bear is red. Red is evil. It has to be bad. No, just because of what your concept is does not mean they are that. Just because death is there, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's moving on with life. It's part of life. And people who describe themselves as Ragnoks, much like myself, don't really see a concept of good and evil. They don't see gods as good or evil. They see them as beings that are there. I don't see any of the gods as perfect because I don't believe that anything is perfect. Everything has inherited good or evil quality to it. And this just made me realize those aren't even. But that's just how life is. Nothing is set in stone that like, oh, this is good because they're in the sky. The sky is perfect. Everything up there is light and goodness. So it has to be where good people go. And under the ground is dark and evil and cold and scary. So it has to be bad. No, that's not necessarily true. A lot of things that we and people in the past had believed are different than what we see today. They didn't necessarily think the underworld is evil. The rest of the article, currently at this time, heathenism, or the respect of the northern/Germanic religions, prefer to be limited itself to worshipping the Aesers and the Valleys, the Valen. Northern tradition pagans, however, believe that the gods are not divided into categories of good or bad, which I believe that they shouldn't be. Good gods and bad gods. No. They are all worthy of honor, and we honor them all. Since there are already many living websites that inform us about the Alcestar, the Alceston, and the Vigorad, but little on the Rökkuðr, the sense of honoring all three pantheons instead of just one or two of them. It's part of what sets us apart. We have chosen to put up a small place of education about all three of the truths. Not all Nordic tribes or pagans are Ragnoks. They might just as often be declared to or favor the Alsars and the Valen gods, Valor gods, but they will all agree it is good to see all the gods honored and having no issues with anyone who follows underworld gods. Basically, what it's saying is Rökkuðr is somebody who, like I said, doesn't see good or evil in any of the gods. They see them as beings. They don't separate them. They see them all together. And that is actually how some, if not most, pagans are. They don't really see good or bad gods. Well, at least most pagans I know. I don't see good or bad gods. Like I said, I figure everyone deserves to be honored. I mean, like I said, I have Loki on one altar. There's Hades on another. I have Bridget on mine. And we have the lady who's clearly not evil, even though she goes by the name Our Lady Death, or the name I can't really pronounce, so I'm sorry. So I will forever call her Our Lady Death. Sorry. But that's the thing. If we all saw the gods as these perfect beings that can never do any wrong, we wouldn't have the tales of Ragnarok. We wouldn't have the tales of Zeus's flirandling with women and upsetting his wife and wars. We wouldn't have any of the stories that we have, even with the Egyptian mythology. We wouldn't have a lot of things. There's a lot of stories out there that if these were truly perfect beings that we wouldn't have. I mean, no one and nothing is perfect. Why should we make our deities flawless? Because we don't want to see the flaws in them or in our own humanity. So I'm proud to say I'm actually a rökkatru, or rökkatru. I'm proud to say that I'm a rökkatru, even though I can't pronounce it very well. But we have to remember that not everybody will see it this way. But it is nice to see that some are happy to see that all the gods are being honored and not just a couple. Because how much fairness would that be? And realizing that if you do believe in the afterlife, the pantheon that you are in, then you'll realize that you're going to have to face those underworld gods or those gods of death eventually. So why not honor them so you might get a little bit of favor in? Just saying. Anyway, so I will hopefully see you all or a few of you tonight on Heathen Haven, and I look forward to it. Till then, blessed be.